I like to say hello to everyone who has decided to participate in this Planning for College session. My name is Soretta Broadway, and I am the Senior CFNC Regional Representative. I serve the 919 area code, and I'm delighted to share information with you about the various resources available at CFNC and all of the various types of resources that are out there to help and assist with planning for college for high school students across the state. This today we will be discussing various types of financial aid, and there are different basics when it comes to financial aid, such as gift aid that comes in the form of free money, grants, and scholarships. We also have self-help aid, in which one has earned through their employment, um, and also can come in the form of loans. We also have both merit-based and need-based aid. Merit-based looking at special talents that the student may have, such as music, art, drama, athletic ability, first and foremost, academics. Need-based aid, which looks at the parent's income in order to determine whether or not the student shows need. Also, in order for one to be able to receive various types of financial aid, one must complete a annual application for financial aid, better known as the free application for federal student aid, which we will be talking about throughout this presentation. There are different types of resources that one can begin looking for, seeking out. First and foremost, looking at your school counselor, speaking with him or her, going to the student services department, word of mouth, of course. CFNC, College Foundation of North Carolina, we have both merit-based and need-based scholarships that are geared primarily toward North Carolina residents attending a North Carolina school. We do have some scholarships on our website for students who may be going out of state, but it's primarily for those students who will remain in the state of North Carolina. We also have institutional scholarships at colleges and universities will have available to you on their website. So we encourage you to visit the different colleges and universities that you are considering applying to. There are also national scholarships sites, such as some of the ones that we have listed here on this particular slide. They also are listed on our website because we want to holistically provide everything that you need to know about planning, applying, and paying for college. So unigo.com/scholarships, capix.com, fastweb.com, collegegreenlight.com, and so forth and so on. There are scholarship tips that we would like to share with you as well, and share these with your friends and neighbors. Answer the prompt. Answer what is asked of you. Always try to stay within the length required. If they are giving you a maximum of 50 words or less to write an essay on a particular topic, stick to the requirements. Personalize it. Tell a story. Keep it as interesting as you possibly can. Allow them to get to know who you are. Spell check. If if you're typing this and have someone else read over it, you may have spelled the word correctly, but you used it in the wrong contents. So make sure you have someone else read it for you as well, because sometimes we read just what we're thinking. Reread it aloud. Be sure you're eligible. You don't want to waste your time applying for a scholarship that you don't meet the requirements for. Read the instructions carefully. Keep applying while you are in college. Keep applying your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, even as you're planning to go on to graduate school. And of course, while you're in high school, begin looking at scholarships early. Don't wait until your senior year to begin looking at scholarships. Begin looking at them during your sophomore, your freshman year. Start looking at scholarships. If you know what career you're planning on pursuing, go ahead and seek out scholarships in that particular career, in that particular area. and of course, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Scholarships, when do you begin applying? As I said before, many scholarship applications will open up in the fall, some vary, and some open up in the winter as well. So if that's whenever you can find those scholarships, begin looking at them as early as you possibly can. Different magazines in the August and September editions of various magazines across the country, you'll be able to find some information about different types of scholarships. So start looking if you are employed, working somewhere part-time, if your parents are involved in a civic group or what have you at your church, start looking and inquiring about the various types of scholarships. Keep a scholarship calendar with deadlines. Give yourself a deadline earlier than the scholarship deadline. That way, you'll make sure you don't miss the deadline in which that scholarship needs to have arrived at its destination. Application process for students. As I said earlier, there's an annual application that needs to be completed prior to the year in which one will be attending college in order to receive financial aid, financial assistance. And this application is called the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, better known as the FAFSA form. And the website in which we encourage you to go to is FAFSA.gov. We don't want you to Google FAFSA because other sites will come up that do not end with .gov. So when in doubt, you can visit CFNC.org's website or visit any college or university website, and they will be able to give you, or they will have the link, shall I say, on their site for the financial aid application, free application for federal student aid. This is a universal application, so regardless if one is attending a school in state or out of state, this application does need to be on file in order to be considered for both merit-based, which we've discussed, and need-based financial aid. And of course, when completing this application online, you will have to sign it. One parent in the household and the student who's going to be benefiting from the information. But in order to do that, you do need a federal student aid identification number, which is going to substitute your signature, which can be applied for at fsaid.ed.gov. So all of this information can be found on CFNC's website. And again, if you go to any college or university's website, they will have a link to the FAFSA as well as the FSAID in case you should forget what I have shared with you today. But you can always go back and pull up this particular presentation and get this information once again. We want you to remember you always apply after October 1 of your senior year in high school. That will be the first time the application will be completed. After October 1 of the senior and high school senior year, shall I say. And then, of course, this application will be completed on an annual basis. It's not a one-time deal. We always apply prior to the year of the student actually needing the money. So they're in high school, their senior year, you're applying for their freshman year. Their freshman year in college, after October 1, you're applying for the sophomore year. You will use the previous year's tax information. So filling out the FAFSA, we encourage you to do that between October, November, or December of 2020 if you are a high school rising senior, shall I say. A rising senior, you're going to be completing this during your senior year, but this will be between October, November, and December. And I'm bringing that to your attention because some colleges do have a deadline of December. And And then you have some colleges that will not have a deadline until January, February, maybe not even March. But some colleges base their financial aid on first come, first serve. So we want you to get those monies in. We want you to get the application in as early as you can after October 1, in case that is the methodology that is being used by that college or university. Of course, you can contact the financial aid office and find out what is their FAFSA deadline because you want to meet their deadline. For example, North Carolina does not have a state deadline, but the individual colleges do. Your child may be applying to, or you as a student, you may be applying to a school out of state. And if you're applying to a school out of state, out of the state of North Carolina, you want to find out if that college or university has a state deadline, which can be found on the FAFSA.gov's website when you begin to apply. If the state has a deadline, you want to adhere to the college or university's deadline. So you're going to be completing, you want to make sure you're completing the right school year's FAFSA form. So you're graduating, for example, June 2021, if this is a rising senior. Okay, so you're graduating in June 21. So you will be completing the FAFSA for the 2021-2022 academic year. That's the FAFSA form you want to be completing because you're applying for funds for the upcoming academic year. You will always see two FAFSA forms when you go to FAFSA.gov because they have the FAFSA form for the current year and the upcoming year. So you're applying for financial aid for the upcoming year. For example, if you are a rising senior, you want to complete the FAFSA as early as possible, as I said before, after October 1 of 2020. If I'm speaking to, if someone in the audience is a rising senior, even if you are attending a college with later deadlines, such as community colleges, they have rolling admission. They're admitting students constantly throughout the course of the year. So they don't really have a FAFSA deadline, but you still want to complete it as early as you can so that while the monies are available, your information has been in place. And if you are a candidate, if you meet the requirements for the various free monies they have available, then of course you'll have a better chance and opportunity of receiving those funds. Again, I want to reiterate, you want to go to FAFSA.gov's website. Who are the parents that will be completing the FAFSA form? The biological or adoptive parents who are married to each other. The student lives with both of the parents. Those are the biological parents. Those are the biological parents. Biological or adoptive parents who are not married to each other and are living together. So, biological adoptive parents who are married or biological adoptive parents who are not married, those two persons' information will go on the FAFSA form. If the student is from a single parent household, or the parent is widowed or never married, it will be just that one parent whose information would be required on the FAFSA form. If the student is from a household where the parents are no longer living together, they have separated or they've divorced, the student whom the child lives with greater than 50% of the time is the parent whose financial information would be required on the FAFSA form. Not necessarily the person who claims them on their taxes. The student might be claimed on a parent A's taxes, but parent B is the one that he or she lives with the majority of the time. So therefore, it will be parent B who information would go on that FAFSA form. Always include step parent if the student whom the child lives with greater than 50% of the time has remarried, then it will be the step parent and the biological parent whose information would be required on the FAFSA form. Our data retrieval tool is available for one to use if you have filed the taxes of, if you've filed your taxes for the year in which that tax information will be used. Therefore, if you have not filed your taxes, the IRS data retrieval tool would not be available to you. It allows the government to actually pull your taxes and pre-fill your financial information, pre-fill your FAFSA form with the information you filed on your income taxes. So that's only available if you have filed your income taxes for the year in which the federal government is using to complete your FAFSA form. I don't want to get into the tax year because the government knows which tax year information it is needing. So it will automatically pull what is needed. If you're not eligible to use the IRS data retrieval tool, then the college and university may require you to provide some additional documentation. They will make you available. I mean, they will make you aware of what is required. And of course, this is just a snapshot of some of the information regarding the IRS data retrieval tool. It does save a lot of time. It does make sure the information is recorded correctly. So I admonish you when you get to that question that we'll ask, would you like to use the IRS data retrieval tool? That you would, of course, click yes. It's going to ask you, do you have your FSA ID, which is your federal student aid identification number, which substitutes your signature. In order to you be able to use the IRS data retrieval tool, you would need the FSA ID in place. So make sure you're getting your FSA ID before beginning the process of completing the FAFSA form. I didn't want to get ahead of myself. Again, if you are selected for verification, and sometimes when you it's a great possibility if you do not use the IRS data retrieval tool that you will be pulled for verification. It doesn't necessarily mean that you did anything wrong or they're questioning anything on your FAFSA form. It's just you've been randomly chosen to verify your information. So you must verify the information that you listed on the FAFSA. Using the IRS data retrieval tool, of course, would minimize the items that you have to verify if selected for verification because you still might be pulled for verification even if you have you did use the IRS data retrieval tool. Remember, you want to provide the information the college or university has requested of you in a as soon as you possibly can. You don't want to delay it because until you have provided them with the documentations that have been requested, they will not be able to complete the financial aid process. Your application will be put on hold and be put in a pending file until you have provided them with the documentation. So you want to get back with them as soon as you possibly can so that your financial aid process can be completed. Many times, because college costs continue to increase and not decrease, students find themselves needing to borrow money to pay for college. We put this slide in just to give you a general idea as to how much money the students are eligible to receive based upon their grade level. A first year undergraduate student, a freshman, is available to borrow up to $5,500. That's their annual limit as a freshman. A second year undergraduate, a sophomore, can borrow up to $6,500. A junior or senior are eligible to borrow up to $7,500 maximum. And as you can see in that paragraph, it reads the aggregate limit for undergraduate dependent students is $31,000 with no more than $23,000 in subsidized loans. And a subsidized loan is basically a loan in which the government will pay the interest for the student while they're enrolled in school up until 6 months after they graduate or drop below half time. Um, the student's interest will be paid by the government. And once that loan goes into repayment, the student will begin being charged interest. But while they're enrolled in school and during their grace period, the government will cover the interest. Also, um, that decision as to whether or not the student is eligible for a subsidized loan or an unsubsidized loan is based upon the FAFSA form. The subsidized loan is a need-based loan. The unsubsidized is non-need-based. So if they are not eligible for subsidized, but they're eligible for unsubsidized, the student will be charged interest while they're enrolled in school and during their grace period. Of course, the payments are deferred while the student is enrolled in school, so they don't have to make payments until they graduate or drop below half time, 6 months after that date. We do have on CFNC's website a wonderful, wonderful tool called Reality Check. It's a wonderful real world simulation where students can actually walk through and make decisions on what type of lifestyle they like to live, where they want to live, what type of car they want to buy, if they want to purchase a luxury home or a luxury car versus a moderate home or a used car. They also get to determine how much money they want to set aside for entertainment on a monthly basis, for traveling, whether or not they desire to have a pet. All these things that adults get to decide, we like to walk students through that process prior to them actually being in the real world. And at the end of the um, simulation, it tells them how much money they would need to bring home on a monthly basis in order to live the lifestyle they've chosen. But of course, once students have an opportunity to go through this wonderful, wonderful tour of the real world, they typically scale back, make some other choices, make some revisions, and decide, oh, well, maybe I really don't need to set aside that much for entertainment or for purchasing, setting aside for my wardrobe on a monthly basis. Maybe I don't really need all of that technology and entertainment or what have you. So it's really an eye opener. So I encourage you to check out the reality check, which can be found on CFNC's website, cfnc.org. We also have assessments, self-assessments tests in which one can take to find out what type of career best suits their personality. In order for one to be able to take advantage of our Learn About You tools for yourself, shall I say, one would need to create an account name and password in order to access. The great thing about it, they don't have to complete the assessment in one setting. They can save it, put in their account name and password when they visit CFNC.org's website again, retrieve the assessment in which they were working on, pick up where they've left off. But at the end, it gives them their interests, what type of careers are for them, how their skills match up with specific types of careers, also matching their values with potential careers. So it's a lot of great information. It also has the Holland Codes Incorporated, which will tell them about um, the type of characteristics they hold for a particular career, whether or not they're artistic, investigative, realistic, or what have you. Get more details about a career. Being that we're speaking on careers, as you can see from this particular slide, we have the ability for students to be able to search colleges and find out what careers are offered at the various colleges. But even more, they get to find out details about the chosen career. And of course, here we've chosen chef. Everyone's familiar with what a chef does, but we want to give them the facts about what a chef does on a run of the mill day. Letting the student know whether or not this particular career is for them. So not just telling them about all the fluff, but giving them really, really, really deep details of what a chef experiences in that particular role, the various types of skills that are needed, what they should be learning, the money and outlook. Of course, it is defaulted on the state of North Carolina, but they can change it to any state across the country if they want to see what is the average annual wage for a chef in California or in Arizona or in Virginia. They can find that information out. We also provide them with connections and other resources, interviews, information, and real life activities Again, we do tell them the various types of Holland codes that are connected to that particular career, and we give them some wonderful insider information, things that people typically don't let you know about their chosen career. So again, detailed information, how they can explore careers, find out careers that are geared toward the education field or the science field, um, hospitality. There's just a great deal of career information that is listed on CFNC's website. We also have financial aid videos. So again, if you would like to find out more information about financial aid or look at the most commonly asked questions and answers, we have that information on our website. We have a FAFSA overview, how to fill out the FAFSA line by line. So there's a plethora of information about financial aid on CFNC's website. Of course, here in the state of North Carolina, we have an application called the Residency Determination Service, better known as RDS, which is um, required in order for one to be considered for in-state tuition. It's a mandatory application that if you are a North Carolina resident planning on attending a North Carolina school and want to be charged in-state tuition, parents have to complete the RDS application, which is housed on CFNC's website. And when you go to the application, it will ask for your account name and password. It's asking for the student's CFNC account name and password. So if your child does not have a CFNC account name and password, they would need to create one before you can actually complete the application. Parents, once you have logged in your child's account name and password on CFNC's website, the questions are now geared toward the parent or parents only. At the end of the application, you will be given a residency RCN number, residency certification number that you will use on some colleges, admissions applications, or the college or university will notify you once that child has been accepted at that college or university. Once they've accepted admissions, they will then ask for that RCN number. We encourage students not to complete this application prior to July 1 of their senior year in high school. They would only have to complete it. You will only have to complete it, parents, once if they remain at the same college throughout their college years. But if they should transfer from one college in the state of North Carolina to another college in the state of North Carolina, that residency application will need to be completed once again. Financial aid and RDS, complete the FAFSA and RDS at the same time. So during the same month in which you will be completing the FAFSA and RDS, which is we recommend, which is in October, we would encourage you to complete them during the same time frame so that you complete one and forget the other. Timeline, transitioning to senior year. During this time, we encourage you to start narrowing down your career choices if you haven't already decided on what career you want to pursue. Just start narrowing your choices. You might want to write down each career and start listing pros and cons or why you have chosen the various types of careers and see what your responses are for each one. You can also research the time frame in which you may be in college to pursue the individual career choices. Find out the colleges that offer the major you want to pursue. You don't want to waste time. You don't want to waste money. So go ahead and find out those colleges so that you can have a first, second, third, at least choice. 5 colleges is not a bad idea for you to list. Have 5 choices, but at least 3. Visit colleges. Try to go on some college tours, or you can visit them virtually. CFNC allows you to take a virtual tour of all the colleges and universities in the state of North Carolina, as well as Gear Up. You can go to their link, and they will allow you to um, visit the colleges within the UNC system as well. Become aware of the admissions deadlines. You don't want to miss those. Decide if you want to do an early action or create an admissions calendar so that you will know, well, I have XYZ time left before the application deadline is for college A, B, or C, or what have you. And as I mentioned already, create a CFNC account name and password so that you can take advantage of all of our resources on CFNC. Create an account on national scholarship websites as well, so you'll be notified of the various scholarships that are available there. Also begin looking at college websites for their scholarships. That is the only site you will be able to visit to get detailed information about the scholarships being offered at the various colleges and universities on that college or university's website only. Also begin to look at college websites for um, detailed information about their open houses, if they're having freshman orientation. You want to find out that information out as soon as you possibly can so that you can make a working calendar for yourself. Volunteer in your community because community service hours look very good on your admissions application. Consider, if you have not already done so, taking the SAT or retaking the ACT, which was offered to you um, during your junior year, or will be offered to you during your junior year if you're not already a junior. And CFNC does have a wonderful sample test of the ACT on our site, so you can definitely check that out. Senior year timeline, reminder, this is not the end, all be all timeline. Fall, focus on admissions. Early action, why now? Attend your high school college fairs. Don't just walk around and fellowship with your friends, but actually talk with the admissions counselors who have come to participate in your college fair. Again, visit colleges, apply after October 1 for your FAFSA, complete your RDS, and apply and apply and apply for scholarships. Winter is going to come again. Admissions done yet? Do your FAFSA and RDS, apply for scholarships. Remember, spring senior year timeline. Finalize your college plans. If you're picked for verification, just make sure you provide the documents that have been requested by your college or university. National Acceptance Days, May 1st. Look forward to that during your senior year. Be sure to tell your friends about scholarships you are awarded, even if from college. And this is just talking about, for example, if you were a student at East Bladen, make sure you tell everyone about the scholarships that have been awarded to you. So if you're at Knightdale High School, if you're at Athens Drive High School, if you're at C.E. Jordan High School, wherever you are across the state of North Carolina, make sure you tell someone at the school in student services about what scholarships have been awarded so that they can definitely tally and add that in with the total amount that's going to be announced at your senior awards day. Ask questions about loans so you can understand what your rights and responsibilities are. Ask questions about awards letter. If you get an awards letter from a college or university and you don't understand, feel free to pick up the phone and contact someone at CFNC or contact the college or university directly. Eat all the home cooked meals you can because there will be no comparison to the food in the cafeteria food will be no comparison to your home cooked meals at home. Learn how to do your laundry because your free days of laundry are really coming to a halt very soon. Again, we do have some wonderful CFNC resources. We have financial aid primers, scholarships, grant applications, videos about various topics when it comes to planning for college, financial literacy, online course better known as financial basics, We have budget, credit card, and savings calculators, as well as smart borrower calculators. So check out all of our CFNC resources. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at 1-866-866-2362, better known as CFNC. Visit us on cfnc.org's website, or you can visit us at Facebook, cfnc.org, or also, if there's anyone whose parents are veterans or parents, if you are a veteran, please visit this link, nc4vets.com/education, to find out if you have any educational benefits that your biological son or daughter can use that you did not use for yourself. I'm on Facebook. Check me out, Soretta Rep. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.